Hello, I'm Philip Duncan from Weatherwatch TV from YouTube. Thanks for joining us for our 7-day Pacific Islands weather update. And we kick off here on Tuesday morning with actually not a lot going on. We've got a few thunderstorms around Samoa, but it's dry around Fiji, it's dry around Tonga, and fairly dry around New Caledonia and the southern half of Vanuatu. But the northern half, a lot more thundery, and it gets thundery as you head off towards the Solomon Islands as well. Further out to the east, not a lot going on, pretty quiet around Tahiti at the moment, but we do have this wet weather forming around the Cook Islands, which we'll talk about in a moment. Here we are for Wednesday's setup, and you can certainly see the easterly flow, the normal easterly flow blowing through with a few showers. Most of those showers, as I said, up around Samoa and the northern parts of Vanuatu. High pressure down around New Zealand's worth keeping an eye on because it's going to really affect our weather in the days ahead. For Norfolk Island, we had a viewer from Norfolk Island who wrote to us the other day saying, thank you for covering us because the Australians don't, and you're Australia. So, I mean, that's kind of strange. But we don't include you in our Australia update, we include you in our Pacific Islands update, so that probably adds a little more confusion. We do that simply because it doesn't fit in the map, whereas it fits perfectly in this one. So Norfolk Island, a couple of showers, but easterly winds, you're pretty much under that area of high pressure. Now by Thursday, the high drifts a little further along, but this is the area of interest because up comes the southerly around this high pressure zone down near New Zealand, but then you've also got a northerly flow coming down from the tropics, from the equator. And these two are going to form into a storm actually, right next to Rarotonga. Now it rapidly forms and tracks down to the Southern Ocean very fast over sort of about a 36-hour period. So Thursday night, Friday morning could be a bit stormy or unsettled around the Cook Islands. And then over here, the southerly flow coming up, just dropping the temperature a little bit around Tonga and even as far north as Apia. All right, let's go into the weekend now. So Saturday, high pressure just to the north of New Zealand means mostly dry weather blowing through here with the easterly winds, although a bit of a southerly coming in for Nuku'alofa. Temperature might be down just a little bit for you. But the stormy system around Rarotonga has pretty much gone, and even at Tahiti, mostly dry weather. Sunday, it's even drier now. High pressure from Australia and the New Zealand area is stretching out. The wet weather is heading off more towards the equator. Most of the wet weather still stuck around the very north of Vanuatu with a few thunderstorms blowing through there for you. And on Monday of next week, well, it doesn't change a great deal, but the wet weather up here, the thundery stuff moves back down in towards Samoa and also a little bit around Rarotonga. It's a very narrow line of showers, so not too problematic. And dry for Fiji. Not a lot of rain there. We're going to talk about that in a moment, how dry it's actually becoming around Fiji. But we've got a slight southerly flow out of New Zealand on Monday, so that should just help drop the temperature in Fiji by a degree or so. The humidity will be down just a little bit. Let's have a look at the 7-day animation now for the Northern Hemisphere. Here is Hawaii, that's why we're doing this. Not a lot really going on for Honolulu and the Hawaii area. Mostly settled easterly winds, just a couple of showers. Most of the stormy stuff is up here around the Aleutian Islands, where it should be, and also out around Japan. And finally, let's end on the 7-day rainfall outlook, because this is a really good way of consolidating everything we just talked about. So as you can see, pale blue. Very start of the rain scale here, 1 to 5 millimeters, if that. In fact, it might even be lower than that for Fiji. So Fiji, very dry for the week ahead, very dry in New Caledonia, dry in Tonga, but it's wetter over in the Cook Islands, wetter for Samoa, and wet with these thunderstorms for northern parts of Vanuatu. And over around Tahiti, not too bad either, just a few showers. And Honolulu, Hawaii, mostly dry, probably a few showers forming there on the volcanoes, but otherwise fairly dry if you're heading off towards Hawaii, if you're lucky enough. That is all from me for our Pacific Islands update. We will see you again 1 week from today.